Hey friends, Roberto Monaco here. I want to record this video with the intention to help some of you out. Now, this message I'm recording today is a little bit different than a message that I sent before because it's an area that I usually don't talk about. It's an area that I don't consider myself an expert, but that's a message from my heart, so hopefully may help you or someone you know. I would say it's more like a spiritual message. Les Brown, one of my favorite speakers, said once that we create our message out of our mess. And last Friday, I was totally an emotional mess because unfortunately my grandma, Carmen, passed away. She was 93 years old and I absolutely love her. She was so loved by our family. And Friday was really bad, Saturday really bad, and then Sunday woke up feeling better. Today I feel good, feel okay. Of course sad, but feel great. And I went from this really bad emotionally place and to a place that I was like feel really good about it. And I want to record this message to you for a couple reasons. Number one, to dedicate this message for her and to share with you the things that I learned from her. I mean, I learned so many things, but at least 3 things I want to share with you. And the third thing is that I want to talk about the power of choose your belief system. That's the title of this presentation. You see, my grandma taught me so many lessons, and the first lesson that she taught me is the lesson of spending time with family and having fun with your family. I remember since I was like young kid, 13, I used to take the bus from Farroupilha, Anchieta, and go to her house and have like lunch with the family during the week. It was like once a week, every Tuesday, we always had meatloaf, the same dish, meatloaf. It was so funny. And she always create opportunities for us to spend time with our family and have fun together. So I always admire that piece. The second piece was my grandma. When she was 90, she was so sharp. Of course, she's retired, doesn't work, so all she did during the day is read magazines like Veja magazine is equivalent to Times magazine. So by the time I fly to Brazil to hang out with her, she schooled me on Obama and economy and every single news. She knows more than anybody else because she knew so much, and she always had this desire to learn more. She was so sharp. So that's the second lesson that I learned from her, is just like keep learning, keep spending time with family, having fun. And the third lesson that I think is the most powerful one is that unfortunately Carmen, when she was 91, she started doing dialysis. So 3 times a week, she gotta go to the hospital and spend 4 hours every time doing dialysis. And that was like, at 91 years old, that's painful. She was the oldest person, the oldest patient in the hospital. 3 times a week, 4 hours every time for 2 years. And it was really powerful for her. But what's amazing about the story is that she never complained. She never complained, I gotta go to the hospital again, spend 4 hours, all these machines hooked up my arms. She never complained. She always had a great attitude. And she left so many more messages for us. My resolution to record this video and to feel good about it is that we cannot control death, something that has happened with all of us. But I knew in my heart that she had an amazing life. She died with her 2 daughters next to her, with everybody in the family loving her to death, literally. And she impacted the lives of so many. And today I had a conversation with my buddy Keith, and he said that her legacy is still inside of me. And by me recording this video to you, the legacy keeps moving on and on. The most powerful story happens on Sunday when I was running. My mom called for my cell phone from Brazil, crying, but kind of like a different type of crying, kind of like happiness, kind of happy, kind of like relieved. I said, "What happens, Mom?" And she said, "I have a story to tell you that is just unbelievable." And I told her, "Why, Mom?" She goes, "Look, my grandma actually was cremated. And what happened was that after the ceremony, 2 people in Brazil that are very spiritual, that knew my grandma, but they're not very close, right after the ceremony, approached my mom and asked my mom, Carmen, is my grandma's name, is in a very good place right now. my grandfather, who died, 15 years ago, is waiting for her. And my mom was like, oh, that's nice. And then the two ladies in different times, and these two ladies didn't know each other, approached my mom and said, who is the kid? And my mom was like, what do you mean, who is the kid? And she goes, has Carmen lost a kid, a son or a grandkid during her lifetime? My mom's like, no. And the two ladies different times said, well, because I can see that her husband is waiting her in the heaven, but there's a kid waiting with him. And my mom was like, well, we haven't lost anybody. So my mom was like, okay, I don't get it. 5 minutes later, my mom driving home realized that my grandmother, Carmen, had lost a kid during birth before my mom and my aunt was born. So my mom never told me this story before, because like, wow, at that time, 7 years ago was normal, more normal. Didn't have the medicine technology, but my grandmother had a kid that unfortunately at birth was born dead. And my mom said that she has a breakthrough that my grandmother was going to reconnect with my grandfather and the son that she never met. And once my mom told me this story, look at my arms, I have chills in my arms. I felt relieved, on top of everything and everything that was going on. I just felt relieved that I know my grandmother's in a good place. So just like a spiritual lesson. And my mom, as she was telling me this story, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit different. And my mom said, you know what? I just choose to believe that, because if two people tell me, and I just choose to believe that way, it's going to be one more reason I feel that your grandmother is going to be taken care of, because I think she's in a good place. So once my mom said that she chooses to believe, I realized, you know what? I choose to believe as well. So choose to believe the right beliefs that make you happy. It's going to make you more fulfilled. And most important, if you have a challenge experience in your life, just choose a belief that will empower you so that you don't suffer anymore. Alright? I'm sorry for the longest video, but I just have to communicate the message to you. Grandma, Carmen, I love you so much. Thanks so much for the inspiration. Thank you. Guys rock. Bye-bye.